What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel with myself, North47, for some more of the Golf Club 2019. And today we're back in the TGCTours and TGCTours for the WGC HSBC Champions event at Valle de los Reyes Ballesteros course. And as you can see here, for the first round we have firm and fast settings with low wind speed. This is all 4 rounds broken down into sort of a highlight reel. It's my first time doing this sort of thing, so hopefully it goes sort of okay. I have broken it down, as I say. I've thrown in the odd few pars here and there, but I've showcased, if I remember correctly, all the birdies and a few of the bogeys as well, if not all of the bogeys. I think I only took out 1 or 2, but do let me know what you think of it. If you think it's any good, I can indeed do this from now on for the TGCTours. As it'll sort of break it up in between the PGA Tour events anyway. So we're going to start off here in the first round. If I remember correctly, I did start this on the first hole of the video. I did indeed. And as you can hear in the background, I forgot to turn John off. I had him on for a couple of rounds once the patch went live, and there was apparently some new commentary added. But from what I understand, and from what I heard while playing, it's actually only just in the career mode, I believe, as I didn't actually hear anything new whatsoever during the few rounds that I did play. So a shame they didn't add, from what I heard anyway, anything new to the regular society events or just local play matches. But we're starting off here anyway, par 4, first hole. Hit a slow downswing, but it was nice and straight. Didn't go too far right, if I remember. I did end up in the fairway, did indeed. I hadn't played any warm-up rounds at all. I just decided just to get stuck in that Sunday afternoon and just get the 4 rounds done in one go. But we've got 96 yards in. The winds are low, so I was fairly confident. I know the greens are firm and fast, but lob wedge should check it up fairly quick, and that's not too bad. But it's coming back. It comes right back down that slope. That's the one problem with the true sim, is you can't always see where the slopes are. And then just reading those putts. So I just bring that marker back down just so I can get a good look from behind the hole. If I remember correctly, I do believe this breaks left to right. It's a good lengthy putt though, 30 feet, 1 foot uphill. Put decent weight on it, but unfortunately just died. Left me with a 9 foot for par. Pretty much left to right again, just a little bit outside, but unfortunately just burned the edge and do indeed open up the round and the event with a bogey, unfortunately. So not setting a good tone straight off the bat. As we move on to the third hole, just picked up a par on the second, still sitting at +1. And just that little trick, if you caught my last True Sim videos, a little trick just to get a look at where you're aiming, as you can't zoom down the fairway, get a fair idea. Just switch off to that putter and just do the worm cam and just use the left stick then to zoom up over the course. Unfortunately went straight through the tree. I didn't pay attention at all to that, and I believe it was actually, I think it was the second and third rounds actually as well. I actually also made that mistake on this hole. It was only the 4th round, I think it was the 4th round, if not the 3rd, where my brain finally woke up and said, no, aim left of that tree. So I hit a fairly decent approach in. A little bit of run out, bit of a mid-range putt though. At 18 feet, up 1 inch. Looking at it from here, it looks a little bit of left to right again. But I decided to keep it straight, and it did indeed go left to right, and as you can see, it went straight off. Looking at it now, I could see that it is left to right, but when I was playing it, I thought that it actually played straight. I didn't see the initial bit of break, and again, as you can see there, it played straight and just missed it again for another par. And dropped it in for the bogey. I was about to say birdie there. So moved to +2 through 3 as we head on to the 4th hole. So things really not going well in this opening round so far. In the early stages, always sets a bit of a bad tone. and puts that horrible frame of thought into the mind, like how bad is this round gonna go? But hit a pretty good tee shot there with a bit of a pull, but it did hold. I got 243. It is, yeah, 243. And if I remember right, yeah, I did look at this now. I did look at this and I was fairly convinced that I would indeed make it, so I thought I'll go for it. And I did indeed. Touches down nicely on the green, but just runs on past the hole. But I do still leave myself with that eagle opportunity, as it does come back, comes right back down, and worked out to be just an absolutely beautiful approach shot. So that leaves me with 5 feet in for eagle. Looks to be relatively straight, a little bit of break on it, nothing too major, and again just lipped it out, just broke that tiny little bit more than I thought it was going to, but do manage to pick up the birdie and bring it back to 1 over as I move on to the 5th. So as I say, there will be a few holes here and there throughout the video where it is one after the other, but where it just kind of dulls down, I will, and there's nothing much happening, just getting pars. I have taken those out just to shorten it out a bit. So this video is actually going on just a little bit longer than the usual videos, but I got 124 into the green here. A little bit of D-loft on the gap wedge. Hopefully that wind can hold it up, but I did pull it left, and as you can see, it's gone very far to the left there. Just holding that edge of the green there, a yard or two in. So convinced to myself that I'm just going to come away with a par here. So I just said it's breaking left to right. I'll put it out, get it close, and beautiful putt, 27 feet. In she goes for the birdie, bring it back to even par, and we move on to the 7th. So I just picked up a par again then on the 6th to remain at even par. Great tee shot, nice and safe into the fairway. So 171 up 19, so playing about 177 with a little bit of crosswind, so a little bit of loft, if I remember right, I put onto the 7-iron. Actually no, I did, I played it straight up. Comes in nicely though, and sits down nice and close to the hole. Great approach, leaving just about a 5-footer now for birdie. Just 4 feet, all about the weight really. Played nice and straight, in she goes. So I'll move to 1 under as I pick it up again at the 8th hole. And you'll see the big error that I make here. I switched it up to the driver, and you'll see now why that was a bad mistake. Hit the fast on the backswing for a little bit of extra yardage, and boom, straight into the heavy rough. So horrible mistake. I didn't pay attention to that at all, with the fairway breaking or doing a dog leg around to the right. So I knew I wasn't going to get to the green in 2. 500 yards, not a hope. 78% lie. Just want to get it across, but again, misjudged it. Went straight through the tree. For some reason, I thought the fairway was starting over around here. So in a bit of trouble. And just thinking to myself, just get it onto the green, scramble it for the par. Good strike, but unfortunately didn't think of going through the tree, and there we go, lengthy putt now to save the par, 37 feet up 1 foot. So that's going to be playing about 55, just giving it the weight. Just want to get it up there. It's looking great all the way, and just dies right at the last second. So unfortunate not to get that one. That would have been a great putt again, and do drop back a shot. So back to even par on the 9th. Take a bit of a gamble here on this one, although it's not a strong wind. It's still a bit of a gamble to try and take it over this little stream up here, splitting the fairway in 2. But a bit of draw on it, just kind of bring it back around to where it's angled, and just about comfortably make it through onto the 2nd fairway. So 265, playing about 274 in. No, I'm not going to get there in two. Just aim it out and just try and get it onto the fairway. But actually I did try and go for it. Yeah, I did actually. I tried to carry the bunkers, and I did actually. It was one of the rounds, I think it was actually the second round, I plugged straight into the bunker. I was a little bit further back, I think, a little bit stronger wind as well. So decent chip shot, runs up nicely and just misses hauling out there. But we do have a nice little tap in though for a birdie, bring it back to 1 under again. Heading into the turn, and we pick it back up now on the 12th hole, just a couple of pars on the 10th and 11th. I say now this video as well, it's not, none of the commentary that I'm doing now is scripted, it's just me just watching the video back now. I edited it down last night and it was a bit too late to do the commentary, so I'll say it's not scripted whatsoever. Great strike off the tee there. I'm actually trying to remember some of the shots that I played now myself, even after watching through the 4 rounds last night, but decent approach. Just inside 10 feet. Fairly confident that this is not going to break too much left or right. Even just looking at it now, looks good. And just catches that left edge, in she goes, and that brings it to 2 under. As we pick it up again on the 14th, so just another par on the 13th hole then. Wind is nice and calm. The wind's only about 3, maybe 4 miles per hour throughout this round. And you see on the approach a little bit of a mound there that the ball touches down on. I was hoping that it would feed down a little bit to the left. It tried to start turning but just hadn't got the pace in it. A quick look, it's actually from here now, it's looking relatively straight, not much breaking at all. Played it right edge. And in she goes for another birdie. So judge that one very, very well. As we pick it up on the 17th, nothing really happened at all for the rest of that round then, for those few holes. I was tempted to go for the green here in one, it is reachable. And I was tempted to get greedy and try and bend it around the trees, and I just said no, don't risk it. Dropped it back down to that 6 iron. Just lay it up nicely, just at the end of the fairway. No point being silly now at this late stage in the round, and go swimming and hand back. Could be a single, double or triple bogey. So sitting at 3 under. Nice easy approach in with the lob wedge. Struck it beautifully. And stuck it in there nice and close. So best decision ever was indeed to just lay that up, not get greedy and try and go for it. I'd be tempted if I did have the zoom down fairway and move it to 4 under. Yeah, if I was able to zoom down the fairway, I'd probably have a better idea. And as you can see, actually I did. We just finished up the first round. I did pick up a bogey actually on the 18th to drop it back to 3 under. But I did actually take that one out, it seems. So I move on to the second round, and as you can see, it is firm with moderate green speeds and medium wind speeds. So winds are up a little bit now for the second round. Let's pick it up on the first hole again. As you see, the winds have jumped up. They're about 9 or 10 miles per hour here. Great opening tee shot this time though. Still comes around to the right though. I didn't push it out enough. I was used to the low wind speed. But nice and safe into the fairway. So we got 120 up, I think. Is that, it's hard to make out here on the screen. It looks to be up 1 foot. It looks like fairly level. So playing about 136. Just a straight up pitching wedge. And dropped it in nicely. A little bit of a putt. Could have gone on. I would have preferred it to go on a little bit further. But 12 footer, it's not too bad. Just outside the comfort zone of 10, where I like to end up. Breaking a little bit right to left. And judged it beautifully straight into the centre of the cup. So start off the round this time on a positive note at 1 under as we move on to the third, just a barn all par on the second. And here we are again with this tree that I did not pay attention to. I was thinking that the wind, maybe this time I would, but it just hadn't got the height, and straight through catches those branches again. Ended up in pretty much the exact same spot as the first round. Would have been a little bit better off had I not done the tree, would have gone a little bit further, but I've got 113 anyway into the pin. A little bit of loft with that wind on the sand wedge. And beautiful approach, leaving it just about 5 feet now for birdie. Nothing in at all. Just get that weight right and knock it straight in there for another one. Moved it 2 under. So I move on to the fourth hole. First par 5 of the course. Great tee shot again. And let's give us about 235 in. With what looks to be, it's hard to make out actually, it's a little bit blurry just the way that the screen is split now for me while doing this, but it's up 36. So adding on about 12, it's going to be 247. Thinking I can get there with the 5 wood for some silly reason. Just caught the bunker. I was thinking maybe the tailwind might have just caught or carried me that extra bit, but flop shot up to the pin anyway. A little bit of loft on the sand wedge. And not too bad at all, leaving it about 8-9 feet for another birdie opportunity. Looks to be just a little bit of right to left. Just in the initial part of the putt. And just about caught that right edge to drop it in. So we'll move on to the fifth, sitting at 3 under. Wasn't 100% sure myself for this one. I was humming and hawing at first there for a second, just about is it going to make the bunker down at the dog leg of the fairway. But I realised now the wind is up a bit, should be more than comfortable, and it does be. And now we've got this tree in the way, and I was thinking to myself, will I get up and over it? So I should do, it's far enough away, but I'll just double check it anyway with the putter. Just have a little look, get a rough idea of where it is. Looks okay. So I'll club it up to that pitching wedge again and just get it up and over there, let the wind hold it up. A little bit of loft. And just catches the branches just as it's getting up at the top of the trees and just died a death in the air and plugged itself straight into the bunker. So unfortunate not to get up and over there. I would have just about made it. I'd say if I was another yard or two back. And then just a horrible flop shot out there to leave it onto the green fringe. So struggling to just get up and down for a par. And just did not turn for me at all. Could see the break there, but it just did not want to turn. Just one of those putts. So I'll drop a shot back there. As we move on to the seventh. Good pull on that tee shot, but thankfully the wind, it actually didn't go to the left at all really. Considering how badly I pulled, I was actually kind of shocked with that. Bordering towards a slow downswing as well, but with the wind as well, with it sort of angled right to left, I expected it to go a lot further left than that. So I was quite surprised by that. But great approach shot, again just bordering towards a slow downswing. But judged it beautifully, got it in there for about a 6-footer now for birdie, only 5 feet. and just about took it a trip around the lip to drop it in there for the birdie and bring it back to 2 under. And now we are sitting up on the ninth, sitting at 2 under. Again, bit of a risky shot. The winds are up this time, but I do decide to go for it. Great tee shot, and just about made it to the fairway. So I took a big gamble there that could have really come up short and put me in a world of trouble. And here we are now. I'm thinking I carried it the last time. Winds weren't too strong and it was fairly comfortable. Have a little look, see where I'm aiming. And I'm thinking, okay, so a little bit more to the right, wind should bring it across. As you can see, I actually pulled back a little bit to the left there, which was another addition to the error, and straight into the bunker. I thought I'd aimed more towards the right side of that bunker. I wasn't really fully watching it. So I'm in a bit of bother here, although it is only the 3rd shot. Good strike out of the bunker. Played it perfectly. Distance was great. Checked up nice and quick, leaving us with an 11 footer for birdie. Breaking left to right, slightly downhill, and turns nicely straight in, and we do pick up another one and move it to 3 under, I believe, as we move on to the 12th hole. Still at 3 under. Little bit of loft on the 8 iron. Wind should be nice with that. Great strike. Up and over that tree. And just a bit short and kicks back into the bunker. Unfortunately, just a tiny little bit too much loft on that, so just a chip shot up. Should be good. And up and down for a par, hopefully. And played it beautifully, dropped it in out of the bunker for a birdie. As we move on to the 13th, now sitting at 4 under after that beautiful chip shot. Great strike off the tee. Leaving it with 139, playing about 144 into the pin. Say about 136 or so with that wind, so just a pitching wedge. Should be just nice without any loft. Just didn't come around as far as I wanted, but did run on further than I wanted. Leaving it with a 13 footer, 3 inches down. Breaking a little bit left to right by the looks of it. And beautiful putt again. In she goes for another birdie, bring it to 5 under. As we move on to the 18th, nothing else really happening at all throughout the round there for those other few holes, just par all the way. Decent strike, bit of a push on it, but it does kick back into the fairway just nicely. Now with the wind, is it worth trying to go for it? Definitely not. 287. Good bit of draw, or good bit of fade on this. Bring it back around. Decent strike. And got it up there nicely into the fairway. So getting a little bit more confident actually with the draw and fade on the shots. I'm sort of getting used to it now, using it a little bit more, in particular in the True Sim Tour. So just a little flop shot in here. And very nicely played. Leaving pretty much a tap in for another birdie, which do manage to drain and finish the round off at 6 under. So that brings the event so far to 9 under through 2 rounds as we move into the third. As you can see, it is again fairways and greens are firm, and green speed is fast with a medium wind speed, so pretty similar conditions again. Actually exactly the same conditions. I think the wind direction has changed, that is the only thing, but we're going to pick it up again on the first hole. Just waiting, there it is, that's the wind meter after jumping up there, so pretty much the same wind speed again, but slow down swing. Pretty similar to the first round, and do end up in the bunker straight off the tee. So again, not off to a good start. I had high hopes after a decent second round, finishing 6 under. I'm thinking, let's see if we can smash this up here, get it on the green. Feeling fairly confident. Great strike out of the bunker, up and over those trees, and what an approach. Absolutely beautiful. Got the reward for taking the risk there. Leave it with a 5-footer for birdie. And managed to drain it. So starting off the round on a positive note again, that boosting the confidence even more as we move on to the fourth hole. Just a couple of pars on the second and third. Still sitting at 1 under, but the confidence is fairly high. I'd say after that second round. Didn't like the way it came back there. And pulled it slightly left again. That's sort of creeping back into my shot as well, as I'm getting a lot of pulls off the majority of the approach shots, but it's slowly creeping into the tee shots again as well, here and there. So I got 223, up 31 again. I think it says 31 anyway, as I say, it's just I've got a split screen going here, so it's a bit blurry for me. But convinced I can make it again. Which will carry it more than comfortably. Got some full left just for the wind. Take a bit of yardage off, slow down swing, and well off to the right. And just about holds the rough. Good flop shot. Just didn't get as far as I'd liked, or would have liked, but I wasn't. I actually only just looking at it now, the lie percentage. I didn't take that into account. Going by the looks of it, I think with the firm and fast, I was expecting it to roll out just a little bit more. So mid-range putting out for birdie, and just caught that right edge. So again, feeling a little bit more confident now with the putter, with dropping them in like that. As I said, 2 under on the 5th hole. Great tee shot. The majority of the pars as well that you don't see here in the video, I was literally, they were sort of mid to long range pars, or putts for birdie, and just burning those edges. So I'll say the confidence was fairly high. I was hoping to do fairly well throughout the event. Just fade it around this tree here. I think I just caught the branch there again, and just died into the bunker as in the previous round. Very slow downswing, but came up pretty well. Just leave 7 feet now for par. A little bit of right to left, just outside that cup. And just put too much on it, lipped it out. Cursing myself there I was with that one. But tapped it in for the bogey and move it back to 1 under. As we move on to the 7th. Still at 1 under. Great tee shot again. Nice and straight this time. so 150 up 18, so 156 with that wind. Definitely just a bit of loft on that 9-iron. Brilliant strike in. Just goes on a little bit further, but not too far. I thought it looked at first like it was going to go on a lot further, but thankfully it did check up for me. And just leaves it 8 feet. And just about put it out enough. It was just a little bit further out for a comfortable centre of the cup, but judged it nice. Back to 2 under. So move on to the 8. And did indeed keep with the 2 wood this time, but I hit a fast off the tee, but thankfully just hit that bank on the fairway there to kick it back around to the right. So now I'm feeling definitely going to be able to make the green this time. 212. Bit of wind, 4-iron all day. Actually dropped it down to the 5-iron there. Pushed it off to the right, but obviously the ball was a bit below the feet there, but it breaks back around and ends up beautifully, only about 6 feet away. So unintentional there with a great approach. To be perfectly honest, I didn't notice the slope, but do manage to drain it in for the birdie. As we move on to the 11th, 3 under. And another great tee shot. Great strike there. Coming around nicely. And just ends up on the fringe. I was more than happy for it to end up just barely on the edge of the green fringe there. That I wouldn't have the lengthy, but I could take the chip. Good chip shot. Just run it up there. Just came off a little bit more to the left than I wanted. But it's only 5 feet. Pretty much a tap in. Playing pretty straight. Just give it the weight and drop it in there for another one. As we move on to the 12th, sitting at 4 under, so looking fairly good throughout the round. Great strike off the tee. Perfectly straight, coming around nicely with that wind. And absolutely beautiful. What a golf shot. Right in there, about 2 feet now for birdie. And do manage to pick it up and move to 5 under. As we head on to the 13th. Great tee shot again. Excuse me. So 140, playing about 146 or so with that wind. Looks to be 140, as I said. It's a bit blurry here now on the screen at the moment. I'm thinking with the wind, full loft on the 9-iron should be just nice. Great strike for fully lofting as well. Very, very tiny, very narrow swing line there. So brilliant strike and beautiful golf shot again, right in there, leaving it about 4, maybe 5 feet. Just a little bit left to right and drop it in, bring it to 6 under. And that will pretty much wrap up now the 3rd round. As you can see, there's the scorecard, just par for the rest of the round. Unfortunately, just burning edges. But did remain at 6 under as we move into the 4th round. And as you see, the conditions have gone up now, very firm on fairways and greens with fast green speed, but the wind speed is back down to low. So again, I'm feeling fairly confident. 2 rounds of 6 under. Sitting at 15 under for the event. Great opening tee. Actually, no, sorry, not opening tee shot. We are on the third hole here where we pick it up just par off the first and second holes this time. My mistake, I do apologise for that. And as you can see, I did indeed put it around to the left of that tree this time. So just a gap wedge in there. Unfortunately, getting the slow down swing, pushed it off to the right a little bit, and it still went a little bit long. Just off the edge of the green there. Actually, still sitting on the green. Looks more like it's on the fringe, to be honest. But 20 footer, right to left. 4 inches down. Need to be careful on it. Didn't turn, and it did not turn. As you see, it started to turn there at the end, but I saw quite a bit of break. It's a complete misread for myself there. I'm sticking the pin in now, even for this little short 5 footer. And I missed it again, and I'm really kicking myself now at this stage. And do give a shot back to the course early in the round, so moving to +1 as we head into the fourth. Confidence kind of got a bit shaky there then. Great strike off the tee though. So 226, playing about 236, and with that wind, confident the 5 wood is good. Hoping to be able to carry the bunker this time. Great strike. And again, just same mistake. I do play quite aggressive. 9 times out of 10 I will always go for the pin. But with a shot like that, if I am able to zoom in, if it's just a regular event, and I can zoom into the green, I'll be able to weigh up my chances of getting there a lot better. But decent flop shot out of the bunker. Looks pretty straight, a little bit of right to left, not much movement in it at all, and read it nicely. So managed to get up and down there. Back to even. Actually, sorry, yes, that was a birdie as we head on to the 6th. Get it back to even par. Great strike with the 4 iron, 5 iron. I do apologise again. Touches down nicely, just runs up, just filters off a little bit to the right though, but it's only around about 10-11 feet. Looks to be a little bit of right to left. Nothing too major, just about 2-3 cups out, and just catches that left edge. Golfer's head got in the way there, looked a little bit like it was going to just lip out, but did manage to drain it. So here we are now on the 8th, 1 under, keeping it on the 2 wood this time. Again, after making I believe it was twice actually, at first and second round I made the mistake on this hole. So 190, playing about say 191 with the wind. Confident the 6 iron should be good enough. Crank that loft up just to be safe. Pretty decent strike. And stuns itself on that slope up onto the green and just sits nice and close, only about 6 feet away, if even. I think it's only actually about 5 feet. 5 feet it is, so great approach shot in there. And pick it up for another birdie. As we move to, 2 under, heading into the 9th hole. Again, here we are now, this split fairway with the little stream running down it. Carried the previous 3 rounds, so why not go for it again? And comfortably into that 2nd fairway. I know 100% I'm not making the green. I do have in the back of my mind what happened the previous round, so I'm aiming well out to the right here. Great strike. And of course the ball goes further this time and just trickles into that rough, unfortunately. So just a pitch shot, fully lofted. If I remember right, I've pretty much fully lofted. Actually, I left the loft alone, and it did run out. Unfortunately, I think due to the lie, 77%, I was thinking maybe it wouldn't come out as clean as it did. Is it good? It is good. So I'll pick up another birdie as we head into the turn, onto the 10th, sitting at 3 under now. Great tee shot. And nicely into the fairway. Just holding it there. Just about 2, maybe 3 feet to spare. So 151 up to, he's playing about 152 in with the wind. A little bit of loft on the 8 iron. Should be just nice. Great strike. Just touches down right at the edge of the green and sits nice and close. Great approach in there. Very little movement in it. And broke more than I thought it would. Even looking at it there again, I thought it was just a very, very slight bit of movement. Just put the weight on it. But it did break. Missed the birdie opportunity, so just pick up a par there and remain at 3 under as we head on to the 11th, which is a par 5. And another great tee shot, nicely into the centre of the fairway. So 245 yards in with the wind. Just aiming out for the wind, just hitting it up there. It's a par 5, so I'm not too pushed if it goes on a bit long, but did actually come up short and just catches the edge of the rough there. Bordering being on the bunker. And not the best of chip shots at all there. So a little bit of a knee jerker here now for this put in to try and get the birdie. But read it nicely and take it to 4 under par as we head on to the 13th hole. Decent drive, bit of a push, but held relatively straight again, and unfortunately just trickles into the rough again. But I was just going to say there, I am noticing that the ball is definitely not being as you're definitely not being as severely punished as you were pre-patch. But great strike out of the rough. Came up quite a bit short though. So 16 yards in. Just going to take that pitching wedge for a chip shot. Runs on quite a bit more than I thought it would. And leaves 7-footer to save the par. And just got it in there nicely. So remain at 4 under. And we move on to the 16th. Nothing really happening at all there. The couple of holes after the 13th, then just picking up another couple of pars. Just bend it around the trees. Just take it away from that bunker that is within range off the tee. It was the first round actually. I went straight into that bunker. I was thinking of this bunker here just in front. I looked at the overhead completely wrong. but just got a nice lob wedge in. But decided I'm going to take the sand wedge and crank up the loft just to be sure. Didn't want to be messing around with D-loft. Great strike. And hits the pin and unfortunately did not drop in there. It looked like it was, but it just got the edge of the lip and kicked away by the looks of it. But just a little 2-footer in for another birdie, moving to 5 under. As we move on to the 18th, just another par then on the 17th. Great tee shot. So potential for it to be within range here. It should kick off to the left. If I remember right, it does, and it does. Just filters down, so I'm thinking, right, okay. Par 5, winds aren't too bad. I'm thinking 264, a little bit of wind. It's within range. I'm going to go for it. Fast backswing. And as you can see, just comes up well short of where I thought it would and straight into the water. So this for a birdie. Fast backswing again, slightly pulled it, but do carry it this time. And just run it out into the rough. So best you can hope for here now, I'm thinking now, is a bogey. Just chip it up there, reasonably close. And do indeed then make this putt for the bogey, bring it back to 4 under and finish the event at 19 under par. So not too bad at all. Slowly but surely, it's still a little bit wobbly, still finding my legs on the True Sim Tour, but that has been the WGC HSB Champions event at the Valle de los Reyes, the Ballesteros course on the True Sim Tour on TGCTours. If you did enjoy the video, please do give it a like, and if you are new to the channel or you haven't already, please do subscribe and make sure to click that bell icon to stay notified of when I do upload. And until the next one, I will close it out here with the final score, and I shall talk to you on the next one, which shall be the 3rd round of the current event at TPC Summerlin on the PGA Tour. So until then, take care, have yourselves a good one, and bye for now.